once was a time when all tanks were small and easy to bully. But now they've grown up and are eager to fight. The first ever multiplayer browser-based 3D war game. Swift registration, low system requirements, simple controls, only real players to play against. You don't just control the tank, you are the tank. Tank Online, for those built like a tank. There once was a time when all tanks were small and easy to bully. But now they've grown up and are eager to fight. The first ever multiplayer browser-based 3D war game. Swift registration, low system requirements, simple controls, only real players to play against. You don't just control the tank, you are the tank. Tank Online, for those built like a tank.
2069, unknown objects fall from the sky, causing destruction and shifting the climate. The Antaeus Corporation and their opposing faction, the Frontier, are forced to suspend all hostile actions, deciding instead to focus on the planet's recovery after the cataclysm. Along with the destruction, the meteor shower has brought with it a new and unknown type of mineral. Scientists immediately realize its exceptional energy-generating properties and start looking for a practical use for the mineral. The West Prime plant, once under the control of the Antaeus Corporation, is one of the first crystal deposits and research centers. However, due to bad climatic conditions created by failed experiments, the entire plant personnel is evacuated, leaving behind a lot of valuable research material. Finally, 7 years later, the climate around the plant is declared stable. The Frontier, knowing of the existence of West Prime and its location, moves into the region with their strongest forces, the Tanki X, remotely controlled combat vehicles augmented with a crystal armor, allowing for immediate teleportation into the war zone. Just like Antaeus, they know how important the objective is and come prepared. Will Antaeus succeed in regaining control over the largest known crystal deposit, or will the research material fall into the hands of the Frontier, helping them turn the tides of war? Join the battle and be the deciding factor. Tanki X, fire at will. war for resources between the Frontier and Antaeus is gaining momentum and has now moved beyond the borders of planet Earth. Both corporations are now focusing their space programs on the extraction of crystals from planets nearby. Following the success of Antaeus with Lunar Silence, the Frontier have deployed their first military base, codenamed Eris, on the surface of Mars. After many years of research, it was decided to set up the military base on the outskirts of the plains of Hellas Planitia. This wasn't a random choice. The leaders of the Frontier believe that this location is a compromise between atmospheric pressure and concealment. Unfortunately, no X-crystals were detected in the vicinity of the base. However, expeditions to other parts of Mars have yielded results. Eris wasn't built solely for military purposes. It also serves as a warehouse and has a processing plant that synthesizes red crystals into blue crystals. The base has been turned into a secret trading center between factions that aren't controlled by Antaeus. Of course, such a success by the Frontier could not go unnoticed, and Antaeus is already preparing to deal a crushing blow. Fire at will. December 25th, 2104, tank carrier Vladimir Repin, an airborne transport ship belonging to Antaeus, is passing over the Panama Canal. The course of the ship is laid in a way that would allow the carrier to stay within teleportation range from their main strategic objects in both North and South America. This will allow tanks to be teleported to those locations on the ground if needed.
I need a full report.
Our intelligence is suspecting a potential attack on our forces in South America by the Frontier. They believe the enemy will attack Rio.
We got the coordinates, calculating the trajectory and the movement speed of the target.
Prepare for attack. Foolish Antaeus. They have no idea where the battle is going to take place today. If they don't want to come down, we'll take the battle to them.
Captain Sia, the enemy tanks, they are on our ship.
Attack.
Will Frontier's daring plan to capture the opponent's base succeed? Or will Antaeus manage to defend themselves and retain control in the region? That is for you to decide. Fire at will.